If you're an agency owner, coach, or consultant, or you're starting to scale your offer online and you want to scale to 10, 30, 100k plus per month, and you're following your favorite guru's advice on YouTube and you're sending thousands of cold DMs, cold emails a day using their exact templates, their exact outreach script, but you're buying their courses alongside thousands of others who are exactly in the same spot as you, but you're still not seeing results, you're still not where you want to be and where you thought you would be, then I need you to turn off all of your distractions and actually sit tight and watch the entirety of this video, because I'm going to go over step by step and break down exactly why you are in the situation that you're in, how to get out of it, the exact path you need to take, and why even after you know what to do you will fail guaranteed, and how to prevent that from happening so that you ultimately succeed. At the very end, I will break down everything in order to ensure that it's unreasonable for you to not succeed. So turn off all your distractions and sit tight for the rest of this video, because this is your reality. From your point of view, you are reaching out to these prospects whose lead lists you've gotten from the same commonplace websites that everybody else gets their leads from, Apollo.io, ListKit, and so on and so forth. And you're pitching them your offer just randomly. They don't know who you are. You're barging into their cold DMs. And if you ever get a reply, because most of the time you get ignored, but if you ever get a reply, it's usually just no or just F off. They don't want to buy from you because they don't know you, there's no trust, there's no authority, no relationship established. You're just a stranger barging into their DMs, shoving, forcing your offer down their throat without even knowing if they want to buy from you or not. And the reason is you think that this is just you reaching out to them, but in reality, there's thousands of you reaching out every single hour with the exact same offer, the same silly guarantees that you know you cannot fulfill on because you don't have the necessary prerequisite skills or experience. And so of course you won't get results, because there's thousands of you doing the exact same thing to each prospect, because you're getting the prospect list, the lead list from the same websites, the same databases. So it's bound to be the case, and you all get rejected. And so even if after all of this, somehow you manage to get a yes, the prospects are not qualified. They have very high sales resistance and low buying temperature. And the first thing they do, if they ever even pay attention to your initial outreach, is that they will Google you. They'll look you up online. And of course, just like the thousands of others pitching the same offers to the same people every single day, you don't exist. You have no online presence, no brand built up, which is something we're going to get to in the rest of this video. But even if somehow you get them to say yes, they are unqualified prospects. You don't even know if you can fulfill the service to them properly. They have tons of objections that have not been dealt with yet because you just came out of the blue and offered them your service. So of course the prospect is having tons of objections that have not been dealt with yet. They are not pre-sold, and you have to engage in price fighting with them because there's so many of you. You're not differentiated at all. You're a commodity. And so the only dimension in which you can compete with others is on price. And so of course, because on top of that, there is no trust built up, the prospect will not be very enthusiastic with paying you the full price of the service that you are delivering. So you're stuck with low margins, bad fulfillment because you are not able to hire the proper talent or build the proper systems because that would require enough margins to invest in. So you get poor results, which leads to bad word of mouth, which spreads like wildfire, which is worse, by the way, than having no word of mouth at all, which makes it harder for you to get your next client. Now, you might think that's fine, I'll just deal with 1 or 2 clients, but no, it's because you have low margins. You cannot just survive on 1 or 2 clients. You have to keep running the hamster wheel because of your poor margins. So you have to keep chasing client after client after client every single month. And so you're stuck in hell, in fulfillment hell. Now, why do I know this so vividly? It's because I was in your shoes. I know your pain. I was in your exact shoes because I was running a B2B cold email agency where the main outreach channel, the main client acquisition channel for us as well was cold emails. However, it was only after implementing what I'm going to show you in the rest of the video that I was able to get results like this for myself consistently, and also bring sweet results like these for my clients so that they were happy to keep working with me and also referred me to better and better clients. Now, I want you to compare the hell that you would be stuck in with where the very gurus that you look up to are, what they're doing. Charlie Morgan, Lee Jun Jae, Iman, Ravi, Hormozi, none of them rely on cold outreach, cold DMs, or cold emails for running their main offer. I mean, just ask yourself, when was the last time that you received a cold email or a cold DM from one of these people? Exactly. At the very core of it, and this is something that we're going to break down in the rest of this video, they are running what's called a creator business, where they're leveraging content to sell to you at scale, one to many, and build authority, expertise, and trust and credibility at the same time. And before I dive into exactly what you need to do to transition to a creator business model as your very core, I need you to drill home a very fundamental principle, which is, if it is easy, it will be done. What do I mean by this? Take a look at cold outreach, cold DMs, cold emails, whatever it be. You should know by this point that if you're going to rely on cold outreach as an acquisition channel, that you're going to have to go high volume, because volume negates luck and cold outreach is a game of numbers. But the only way you're going to be able to sustain high volumes is by automating through software, packages like Instantly and so on and so forth. But that means that for a very small amount of money, for a very small investment, $300 or so a month, anybody can do it. There is no human soul left in the process that differentiates you from all the other androids pitching the same offers to the exact same people. And so, because it's easy to be done and because anybody can do it, it will be done, no matter how poorly, no matter how well. Now, you might say, well, you'll just opt for low volume outreach, but that doesn't work because it's fundamentally a numbers game and you need the numbers in your favor. You need scale. But you don't have enough scale if you're going low volume. And so you don't get the results that you need and want. And therefore, it's not even ultimately worth doing. And so if you're going to opt for cold outreach as your core client acquisition channel, you cannot rely on it in the traditional manner that you've been led to believe you need to rely on, because if it's easy, it will be done, and you'll be lost in the sea of decommoditized people pitching the exact same offers. There will be no differentiation. You'll be stuck in hell, as I just outlined. Now, what is the other way then? Well, the other way is exactly what the people who you're learning from are doing. Pay attention to what they do, not what they tell you. And that is, at their very core, they are running creator businesses. The creator business model leverages content above all else to build authority, trust, expertise at scale, and pre-sell to prospects. Just ask yourself, why did Alex Hormozi, after having 37 ROAS ad spend campaigns, where, just think about that, every single dollar he puts in, he gets $37 back. Why did he choose to pivot away from ads and into content for his main offer? Why is Iman going all in on his content, shutting down all of his other agencies? Why is Ravi going all in on YouTube content? Charlie Morgan doing the same thing. Lead Gen J, whose real offering is cold email, that's what he teaches you. But where does he teach you that? Through YouTube, through long form content. And that's where he builds his reputation, his clientele. And so you have to realize that what they're running at the very core is something called a creator business, where the reason they're doing this is because once you do this instead, what you get is your ideal prospects, qualified each of them being qualified, are coming to you to buy from you instead of you desperately reaching out to them, begging them for money. And these are not just low quality prospects, these are qualified prospects who identify and resonate with your messaging and want to buy from you and you specifically because they've consumed your content. Why is that? Because you have built out, if you do the creator business model correctly, a bank of high quality long form content on a platform like YouTube that is more primed towards education than other platforms like Instagram, which are more top of funnel, low quality attention. And you utilize this platform to build out content in categories like case studies, process selling VSLs, testimonials. Your story, you highlight your own unique experiences, your face, your personality, and your own display of competence and tonality. All of these packaged together lead to prospects being qualified, pre-sold, and warmed up already. Because when they view your content, that immediately boosts up your status delta in their eyes. Now they're looking up to you instead of it being the other way around. And it also builds up high trust, because as they consume more and more hours of your content, the more mental real estate that you occupy. And so the more they associate you with authority, trust, and credibility, because you're already providing free value to them in all of this content before you make any ask. And because you're not barging into their DMs It's in the platform that they're already used to, and they're seeking out your content, or the algorithm is serving your content to them. And ultimately, this leads to you being a high authority figure in their eyes. Not only that, because they're pre-sold and warmed up, this leads to objections being handled already when they book into a call with you, and they book in with high show-up rates because they have been nurtured so well already, because they've consumed so much of your content already. They're ready to close because any single objections and problems that you had, if you do the creator business model correctly, which is what I'll get to in the next stage, all of the objections will be handled, they'll be taken care of, so that they'll book into calls with the high show-up rates ready to close and allow you to charge higher up front because of the high trust, authority, and credibility. Now, why are you able to charge higher up front, and why are you able to charge premium prices? Well, it's because the fundamental difference between the old way of doing things and the new creator business model. Let me explain. In the old way, where you are relying on, as these gurus tell you to, cold outreach, cold emails, cold DMs, just blasting it through these low price software packages, you have no content because you're not prioritizing building up your content. You have no personal brand, and you're not running a creator business. So you are effectively commoditized. You're the same as every single other person in the market, pitching the same exact offers to the same people thousands of times a day. You cannot stand out, and you do not stand out, and you will not stand out. Whereas, if you run the creator business model correctly, with content, you get infinite leverage, because every single piece of content, quality content that you put out in these platforms like YouTube, they act as 24/7 salespersons for you, doing the selling for you round the clock, even while you sleep, and doing so at scale. So you're able to sell one to many instead of one-to-one with each unit of cold outreach that you do. And also, because you're building up your personal brand, your credibility, using this content in the process, this ultimately gives you offer flexibility, so that if market trends change, and they will change, you can remain trend sensitive and actually adapt to the changes and just fix your offer. And people already have built up trust in your name, in your face, in your brand, in your story, in your personality, and so they'll buy from you no matter what you sell. Just take a look at Iman. He started off with an agency offer, then a coaching offer, and then he's selling courses, and now he's selling Big Day, an e-com brand. So as long as you run this creator business model correctly, not only are you being able to sell your current offer in a decommoditized format while charging high prices, you're also building in intrinsic flexibility so that you remain trend sensitive and anti-fragile, so that you're not hurt with changes in market trends. And as mentioned already, you're able to charge high prices because you set yourself apart from everybody else in the market as an authority figure with high trust and credibility. And you get the best clients because the clients reach out to you instead of you reaching out to them and getting the bottom of the barrel. And the better the clients are, the easier it is to get results for them. And I can say this from personal experience, because it was only after I started implementing the creator business model correctly that I was able to land this incredibly high quality recruiting agency client in the defense space here in the EU, who was referred to me because some of the clients that I'd worked with had sent my content, my VSL, to this agency, and then they decided to reach out to me and work with me because they'd already seen my content, my VSLs and everything. And so there was this built-in trust, and they had already been warmed up and pre-sold on my offer. It was the easiest close ever, and because they were such high quality clients, and because I was able to charge a high margin, I was able to invest in the talent and the systems needed to give them quality results like this, adding 125,000 in 5 weeks for that client. So of course they were happy to stay, and they still are. They'll refer to me, and they'll refer even better clients to me. This is what happens when you run the creator business model correctly. Now, another edge that you get with the creator business model when you package your current offer with your unique story and your experiences is that you become decommoditized and unique. And the offer that you're selling, by virtue of association with you and your unique story, becomes unique as well. And you can ultimately become a category champion and actually run the market. Now, you sort of know what to do with all of this that I vaguely mentioned. I've given you a high-level overview of what to do to run the basic skeleton of a creator business model. You essentially make targeted content, long-form content around your main offer. Long-form platforms like YouTube are the best for this. And this allows you to sell one-to-many. As people consume your content, they get pre-sold. The pre-sold and qualified prospects then book into your funnel with high show-up rates, and they're ready to close because their objections have already been handled with your content, if you do it correctly, of course. And there's a wrong way to do it and the right way to do it, which I'll get to in a minute. And then you are able to charge high margins, allowing you to deliver class results, allowing you to get banger case studies, which you can then leverage to make even better content. And the entire flywheel keeps turning in your favor, as opposed to you being stuck in this negative spiral of fulfillment hell, which is what we don't want, which is why we want to transition to a creator business model. But simply having this high-level overview is nowhere near enough, and you will fail. This is guaranteed, and I'm speaking from experience here as somebody who's already crossed this chasm and as somebody who's working on a team training people to do this properly. Why will you fail? Well, you haven't done this before, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video, or you haven't done it well enough, so you don't have the consistency to do it well enough, and you don't have any content system in place. And not only that, but more importantly, you have no platform data. You don't have data to see what exactly works in what niche and what doesn't. How exactly to structure your VSLs, your videos, so that it's picked up by the algorithm, so that it actually converts people not just to views, but to actually paying customers and clients. You have no idea what works, how to optimize content. You don't even know what metrics to track, let alone improve the metrics that you will end up tracking. And you don't even know how to make content that sells on top of just getting views and subscribers, because just views and subscribers is not enough. We're not trying to be content creators. We're trying to run a creator business where we use content to boost the revenue of our business. And you also lack the technical know-how and guidance because you haven't done this before. And the lack of system means lack of consistency and easy burnout, even after the first 5 crappy videos that you somehow managed to piece together and put out. And so you're guaranteed to fail. And at the end of the day, ultimately, after all of this pain and hardship, when you try to transition to the creator business model, no one will know who you are and you will die in ignorance and silence. And so will your business. Because, going back to our previous point, no matter how easy it might seem, content is hard. And content that actually sells and converts people to paying customers is even harder. Which is why not everybody will do it. Which is why all of the thousands of people that land in your prospects' DMs, inboxes, don't make content because they can't. Because they don't have the skills and the guidance to be able to do so. And because there's an incredibly high barrier. You actually have to know what you're talking about to actually present yourself eloquently enough in content consistently day after day. And do so in long form in a way that convinces your prospects to buy from you. Which is why it is the only way. Because it is difficult, not everybody will do it. Going back to our fundamental principle. If it were easy, it would be done by everybody. And so that is your advantage. Content is hard, and that is what you must use to your advantage. Because it is hard, not everybody will do it. Which is why it is the only way to differentiate yourself. Because think about this. Drill this into your head. As markets become more and more sophisticated, the only way left, the only dimension in which you can differentiate yourself will be through having a creator business at your core, through having a strong brand and authority at your core, through running the creator business model correctly. Otherwise, you will force yourself into being slotted into the sea, the ocean of thousands of all of these offer pitches who are just shapeless, void shadows, just reaching out, barging into their DMs on random Wednesday afternoons, pitching their offer. It will not work. You need to transition into a creator business model. Now, how do you sidestep all of these problems and actually guarantee that not only do you know what to do, but that you're actually able to do it properly and actually get the results that you want to get? Well, the solution that I can provide for you, that we can provide for you, is very simple. You can sidestep all of these problems that are guaranteed to come up because they come up with every single person. The way you can do that is by getting one-on-one expert coaching and real-time guidance from a team that has gotten results already and has done it time and time again, with proven systems and data on what works being updated real time so that you're not lagging behind the market. And the way you can do that is, of course, by joining Creator OS. You can book a call below. Don't hurt yourself. Let us help you. Book a call below and you will get one-on-one guidance on how to do this from a team that has already done it multiple times. Look, even if you don't choose to book a call, you'll end up hurting yourself. But even if you're okay with doing that, at least drill into your head that the core transition that you need to make is to become a creator business so that you're actually able to become like the personalities that you look up to online instead of just staying in their shadows and scraping the bottom of the barrel. So help yourself and let us help you. Book a call. The link for the call will be in the description. Book a call, join Creator OS, and you will see results guaranteed. Thank you for your attention. Ciao, ciao.